You think clearly. You analyze before reacting. You pride yourself on being logical, but even the most rational minds are vulnerable, not to chaos, but to patterns. These aren't loud traps, they're quiet ones. That's why they work. Let's begin. The certainty trap. You don't need to know everything, but your brain pretends you do. When we feel certain, we stop questioning, and that's the first trap. Manipulators, and sometimes even our own egos, use false certainty as a shield. You assume you've understood the situation, so you stop listening. You hear, "I didn't mean it that way," and instead of asking again, you fold. But certainty isn't clarity, it's comfort, and comfort can blind you. The reciprocity trap. Someone does something for you, gives you kindness, time, praise, and now you feel the pull to give something back. That's normal, that's human. But manipulators know the formula. Give first, control second. Reciprocity becomes obligation. You're not being generous, you're being conditioned. You say yes not because you want to, but because you feel like you owe them. The pattern recognition trap. Your brain craves patterns. It wants order, predictability, even where none exists. You see two kind actions and assume trust. You see one compliment and assume care. But humans aren't algorithms, and kindness can be a strategy. They check in on you twice. You start calling it emotional safety. You connected dots that were never there. That's how the trap tightens. You did it to yourself. The overconfidence trap. You know psychology. You read books. You tell yourself, "I'd never fall for that." And in that very moment, you've stepped into the trap. Overconfidence creates blind spots. It's not stupidity that leads people to manipulation. It's the belief that they're too smart to be manipulated. You saw the signs in others. You just didn't look for them in yourself. The emotional label trap. Emotions rise. You feel discomfort, pressure, confusion. But instead of questioning why, you name it. "I'm just being dramatic. Maybe I'm too sensitive." Or worse, someone else names it for you. You internalize it. That's emotional framing, a form of psychological control. You flinch. They say it's manipulative. You freeze. The Crompax is the consistency. "But I already said yes. I already agreed once." Humans crave consistency. It's uncomfortable to contradict ourselves. That's how manipulators trap you. One small agreement at a time. Say yes once. They anchor it. Say yes again. Now it's identity. The isolation trap. This one's never obvious. It doesn't begin with abandonment. It begins with elevation. You're different from the others. They just don't get you. Slowly, the circle narrows. You stop confiding. You stop reaching out. You reread a message, then delete your reply. Not because you're unsure, but because you know they'll twist it. And one day you realize there's no one left to check the story you're in. That silence isn't peace. It's a cage, built gently, locked by trust. These traps aren't new. They're ancient. But the way they work now is more subtle, quieter than before. In relationships, in offices, in families. Smart people don't fall because they're weak. They fall because the trap was disguised as reason, trust, love. Intelligence doesn't protect you. Awareness does. Most videos about manipulation will list symptoms, but symptoms don't explain the experience. They don't tell you what it feels like to question your own reality. They skip the silence, the confusion, the intellectual loneliness. We talk about gaslighting, but not the part where you start gaslighting yourself. We talk about power, but not the guilt of noticing it too late. These traps live in the in-between, the moments we dismiss, and that's why they last. If you've seen yourself in any of these, don't ask if you're broken. Ask how long you've been silencing the part of you that knew. Intelligence isn't immunity. It just makes the story more convincing. The goal isn't paranoia. It's precision. To see clearly, even when you want to believe. If you want more content that dissects influence without the noise, subscribe. No drama, no fear-mongering, just psychological clarity. We'll keep cutting deeper. Next time, we'll break down the 3 most overlooked ways emotional control hides inside normal relationships. You've seen the traps. Now, we trace the strings.